Hello, hello, my holistic soul sister. Welcome back to another episode. So grateful to have you back. Excited to chit chat today. This episode is going live after a huge announcement that I made. And this announcement is not only exciting for me in my career and the next level of being a health coach, but it's also going to benefit our entire community of holistic soul sisters, even if you don't live in the Tampa Bay area. And we're going to talk all about it in today's episode. If you didn't hear the announcement, you can go back to my Instagram or my Facebook page. And I shared that officially in August, I will be accepting a position working with my integrative doctor, Dr. Dana McGrady, at her clinic, taking patients and doing electro dermal screening and helping to find the perfect protocol for people and help them really up level their health. And so I got EDS certified. EDS is electro dermal screening. I got level 1, 2, and 3 certified, which allows me to operate the machine and test people on finding the root cause of their health issues. And this just really takes my ability to be a health coach to a whole nother level. So I wanted to make an episode today breaking down all the questions I've been asked now, not only on the electrodermal screening machine, but also on energy medicine, on understanding homeopathy, understanding how this machine can help you. So we're going to dive in today into all those things, helping you understand that this truly is a tool and a resource that's available to you. And yes, it is not covered by your insurance. It is not considered conventional. However, it has been around for almost a century, and homeopathy has been around since the 1800s. Also, electrodermal screening really originated in Germany. So I grew up learning about this modality, using this modality. I have friends and family in Europe that use this modality as the sole basis of their health care, wellness care, let's say. And I'm honored to not only have a personal doctor here in the Tampa Bay area who's used this machine on me since 2019, but also to know that now I can offer this and pay it forward and bring wellness care into your life. So we're going to break it all down today. Gosh, this has been a dream of mine. I did not really see this coming. I was offered the opportunity by Dr. Dana, which I so graciously had to accept. And it's really going to up level me in so many ways in my knowledge base. I know so much about holistic health and healing. One of my major life bucket list goals is to become a naturopathic doctor. I said when I turn 40, which is in another 2 years, I would go back to naturopathic school and get my own doctorate because I pretty much know everything. I feel like I could pass that test, minus maybe a couple classes here and there. And stepping into this position and role within the clinic, being a root cause practitioner and using the EDS software and machine, it's just going to bring so much more wisdom and experience into my world. So I'm really, really excited. I can't believe this is happening. Thank you to all my holistic soul sisters who either supported me in making the decision or shouted me out on Instagram or Facebook or left a really sweet, loving message. I received that. I felt so appreciated and valued, and so many of you get me and you know my story. So I want to pay it back and I want to pay it forward in this episode to help you understand this modality. It may be available in the area that you live in, but it's not really common. And so just know right off the top of the bat, if you don't live in the Tampa Bay area, you can still get tested on this machine. We'll talk about it in today's episode. And it's very customizable. It's very specific to your unique body. And, as a health coach, what really sets me apart is the fact that I look at everything as energy. If you saw a couple episodes ago, I talked about living a high vibrational lifestyle. And when we think of health, the food that we eat and exercise and supplements and sleep and all the aspects that keep us well, we make it complicated. It's like, what should I eat? What time should I go to bed? There's all these different opinions and doctors and research and science and podcast episodes. And it's like everyone's kind of saying the same thing, but everyone kind of has their own unique opinion. And remember that your body is unique. So any time that you can get protocols or testing that is specific to you in your body, it is going to be most accurate. And I think that's where a lot of our wellness care falls short is we start following a protocol, a supplement routine, doing testing that isn't very individualized for you and your system, right? We're all so unique. And so anytime you can find a modality that is going to work just for you, then you know it's going to help you feel better. Now, also going back to this energy medicine philosophy is that I believe that everything is energy. The food that we eat is energy. Movement and exercise is moving energy through our body. The fact that we think certain thoughts and that makes us feel certain ways, it's energy. The relationships that we're around is exchanging energy with people. Everything we do is energy related. And so I've always gravitated in the holistic space towards energy medicine. I do really, really well with energy practices. And what I mean by that is I've taken all the supplements, all the herbs, I've even taken some, scripted things. But what works best for my body is homeopathy, flower essences. These are remedies that are based on energetic principles. They're frequency medicine. I do so much better with that than I do vitamins. Now, if you're a holistic soul sister that's an empath, you're highly sensitive, you're an energetic being, you're maybe very intuitive or psychically gifted, energy medicine is the best route for you because, again, everything is energy. And some of us are more sensitive to energy. And so homeopathy and electro dermal screening is using energy. So I want to start out this episode with kind of sharing my backstory of how I met Dr. Dana, how and why I started getting screenings done on this machine, and my history with homeopathy. And then we'll come back to exactly what is energy medicine. So hold on to that thought. We'll come right back to it. But first, I want to give you a little backstory. So I'm going to go way back. We're going to go back 2 decades to when I was 18 years old. And if you didn't know this about me, I am German. I have dual citizenship, and I spent all my summers and Christmases in Europe with my family when I wasn't in school in the United States. And so as a child going to Germany every single year, if I was sick, if I had the cough, if I had a flu, whatever I had, my aunt was a homeopathy practitioner, and she would give me homeopathy. We also have a family doctor that is a homeopathic practitioner. So she has treated my entire family, from my grandmothers, my aunts, my uncles, my nieces, and even myself. And so as I grew up and I was using homeopathy, it's a primary way of practicing medicine in Europe. I turned 18 and I wanted to learn it too. So my aunt began teaching me homeopathy. And if you're watching here on YouTube, prepare to be a little shocked. Prepare to be a little shocked. I brought out my entire homeopathic kit. So when I turned 18 years old, I was gifted by my aunt my first homeopathic remedy map. And I'm going to show it to you if you're watching here on YouTube. I have over 250 different remedies. And the remedies look like little sugar pellets. I'll see if I can pull one out here for you. They look like little sugar pellets, and each one is uniquely infused with the frequency of the material matter. And so I really started studying and learning about I don't even know how many, hundreds of different remedies, but I started with 250. So I have a whole bunch of different remedies in here that I've been learning for the last 2 decades. And if my mom had to go to a dentist appointment and she hates the dentist, I'd find a remedy for her. If she got surgery, like a colonoscopy, I was giving her a homeopathic remedy that would help her recover from surgery a little bit quicker. When I got sick and I've had the flu or my partner's had the flu, I found a remedy and really deep dove on homeopathy. Now, last year when I went back to Europe, I was ready to start diving into the next chapter of energy medicine, which was flower essences. And flower essences work on the emotional root cause of why you're having dis-ease or discomfort within the body. So this has been a 20-year journey for me, learning and using homeopathy. So let's fast forward now to 2019 when I got really sick with mold toxicity. You guys know the story if you've been around long enough. If you're new, you can head to the podcast episodes I made on my entire journey about mold poisoning and how that transpired and all the details. But when I first got sick, I didn't know it was mold. I had no idea what it was. I just knew I was losing weight fast. I was very anxious. I felt extremely fatigued, and I was losing my quality of life. And I had known Dr. Dana because we had worked in a similar company, a nutritional company. And a friend of mine recommended I go see Dr. Dana and get tested on her machine. So I did, because I could get in with her right away. I didn't have to wait for a doctor's appointment and get blood work and all the things. I was like, all right, let me just go see her because I'm just really anxious and I need to know what's going on. That was my first experience with this machine in the United States. And I got tested, and we could immediately see some of the major things that was imbalanced with my health. One of the biggest things is I was testing positive for botulism bacteria, and I had gotten Botox 3 months prior. And so my body just did not take it well and could not detox it out. And so that was a very big root cause of why I was feeling the way I was feeling. And we had looked at many other different pathogens, bacteria, viruses, etc. So I knew I had to start detoxing and cleaning out. Luckily, I'd already been doing parasite cleanses, so this was just a little bit more. And then, of course, over time, as we were able to make my body more strong and stable and health foundations, the mold revealed itself. And we were able to see that on the machine. Now, going back to homeopathy, the machine detects certain things that are imbalanced in the body, looking for the root cause of what's holding you back from feeling your best. And so once it detects what's imbalanced, you can then take an energetic frequency protocol, homeopathy, flower essences, botanicals, and nutraceuticals, nutrition, to bring and restore balance to the body. So every time I left her office, not only did I leave with a clear idea of what was causing my discomfort, but I was also able to go home with something that I knew was specifically going to work for me, because the machine is testing you. And the best part about it is that I would then be able to take these things and then retest a month later and go, wow, that really did help. Look at all these things that's improved, and look at what needs to still be worked on. And I am so grateful that I had the history of understanding homeopathy and understanding energy medicine and knowing this machine. And then, of course, knowing Dr. Dana, that really helped me recover from my mold toxicity so much faster. You guys, I followed people on Instagram when I discovered what I was ill with, because I didn't know anyone in my circle that ever had mold poisoning. And so I went on Instagram and I followed other people all over the world that were dealing with this. And within 1 year, I was back to living my best life. And so many other people were still battling symptoms. We're still dealing with all the things, or completely undiagnosed. They had no idea that it was that, because they hadn't been able to find a testing modality that was able to look at the root cause of what was going on. So I'm so grateful for this. And now this is where my heart is on passing this forward as a root cause practitioner that is certified on the Electro Dermal Screening machine and is able to help people move forward in their health a little bit quicker. So that's kind of my history. That's my story. I've been seeing Dr. Dana now since 2019, getting regular screenings, even though I feel so much better. I check in either when I'm kind of feeling unwell, I feel like my Epstein-Barr is flaring again, if new symptoms come up, or I just go every 6 months for a little maintenance checkup. See what's new, see what else I can work on, just working on prevention. And that's the next thing I want to talk about, is this type of screening is not just for people who are unwell. It is a beautiful tool and a beautiful resource for people who are doing fairly good, but it's maintenance, it's preventative. It's able to help your body stay strong and vital, so that when things come up, and if things come up, like times of stress or exposure to a chemical, or, all the things that could happen, you already have a tool and a resource on your side and can just improve from there. For example, I met a patient who was there with her son, and he was 5 years old. And, little things here and there, kids get sniffles and kids have gut health issues nowadays. But for him to start so young and so early, it's going to improve the quality of his life while he's developing and while he's growing. That is incredible. I wish I was able to do that more often as a child. I did that when I was at home in Europe. But if I got the flu or something as a kid, my mom was giving me Tylenol or whatever she had at her disposal, right? So that's my history and that's my story. Now, I want to go through a little bit more of the details because I got so many questions with people who are unfamiliar. When I say homeopathy, they're like, I don't really know what that is, or I've never heard of it. Or electro dermal screening, like what kind of test is that? What can it test? So I'm going to break it all down. I'm going to answer all the questions I got about this entire topic. So I'm going to start with and go back to, what is energy medicine? What is energy medicine? And I'm going to let Dr. Dana explain this. She made a beautiful video on her YouTube channel. So I'm going to insert it here. If you're listening to the audio, you'll hear her describe it. It's taken from her YouTube channel. So you can go follow her at Dr. Dana McGrady. I'll put the link in the show notes. You can follow her along. She does amazing educational content on her Instagram and then reposts it over on YouTube. So I'm going to insert that clip now. If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to see her beautiful face explain what is energy medicine.
Hi guys, it's Dr. Dana here. I'm so happy to be here with you this week as I explain what energetic medicine is. So a lot of people refer their friends and family to me. They come to me, they get better themselves, they have incredible results when they turn their health around, detox, clean out, whatever needs to be cleaned out, and support the body, and they feel better. So they naturally send their friends and family, and they can't always explain to them what I do. Energetic medicine is not so common here in the US, but it's very common in other parts of the world. Other parts of the world, other countries that are a lot healthier than we are here in the United States of America. So like I often like to say, in the US, we spend the most in the whole world on healthcare. We have the highest medical bills here, but we are actually the 27th sickest nation in the world. So there are 26 other countries that are doing it better than we are, that spend less on healthcare. And so we really have to think, what are we doing wrong here in the US that we could be modeling after healthier countries? So energetic medicine is one of those things, I can promise you that. And the key to energetic medicine is prevention. So back in the 1950s, late 1940s, Dr. Voll in Germany discovered energetic medicine. It's a type of testing or screening that is based on your acupuncture meridians and can pinpoint in a non-invasive way and point you in the right direction as to what your root causes are. And so some of the things that I screen patients for when they first come in, I screen them to see if they're absorbing nutrition. I screen to see if their hormones are imbalanced. I screen to see if they have insulin resistance and everything they're eating is turning to sugar. I screen to see if their gut health is working or if they have inflammation in their gut. I also look for pathogenic activity like bacteria, parasites, viruses, fungus, right? I can find out with my screening what's active in the body that's adding to their symptoms. And so we know we cannot heal the body until we clean out the garbage, right? The pathogenic activity, clean out anything that's causing those symptoms or causing an inflammatory response. And so I often say we have to take out the trash before we can properly clean the kitchen. And so the screening, the energetic screening that I do, helps to pinpoint what we need to clean out, right? And then helps to pinpoint what needs support in the body, whether it's the liver, the large intestine, the thyroid. So, and then what the screening does on the back end is it gives you an individualized protocol for exactly what your needs are with homeopathics, botanical herbs, and also nutritional supplements that are all 100% strength. You can only get them through a doctor. Also, you do not have to be totally sick to do this screening. So I'll tell you kind of how energetic medicine works in Germany, because I think Germany is a really good example of actual healthcare, right? Not sick care, healthcare. So in Germany, they have doctors that do this type of screening on every corner. When I went to Berlin, I was amazed as I walked around, and integrative doctors that did electrodermal screening were everywhere. And so in Germany, the government pays for the healthcare, but they require that you do prevention. They ask that you go to an integrative doctor to do a screening like this and turn things around before you're allowed to go to a medical doctor. So I love that because prevention is key. So if we focus on that and follow that example to prevent and turn things around in the body before they become disease, right? And so that's what patients come to me for. I wanted to better explain it to you on what exactly I do in my clinic. Thank you so much, guys. Have a beautiful day.
So I think that clip really does a great job of explaining what it is, what the machine is, and how it can help people. So I wanted it to really come from her because she's done an amazing job and she's been doing this for decades. She has an amazing story of when she became a doctor and how that went about. And she learned so much from her father, who was a medical doctor. They started this company. They started implementing this screening modality. She owns her own nutraceutical company. So she knows her stuff. So let's kind of go a little bit deeper now. The next question I get is, what can this machine detect? You rave about it. You say it's amazing. What can it all detect? Now, as I was doing my level 3 certification, I got to learn so much about this software and dive even deeper. And, like I said, I knew about this from growing up in Europe, but I didn't get my own hands on it. So I got to learn so much. So essentially, the machine uses energy, uses frequency to detect imbalances in the body. So you're holding a copper bar in one hand. There's electrode that is, run through the machine, run through the software, and then the electrode stimulates your finger, a meridian point. So it's based on acupuncture and the meridians of the body. And we test these meridian points to find imbalances. And so essentially all you got to do is come in, hold on to the machine. I use a little electrode, I stimulate your meridian point, and we let the software and the machine and the science tell us what is going on with you. And no, it doesn't hurt. You don't feel anything. And like Dr. Dana mentioned, this machine was created by a scientist, an engineer, and a doctor. So it's very scientific in the way that the software is run and the system detects things. And that's where we have to get certified to make sure that we are not only understanding what the machine is telling us, but that we're able to design it specifically for you. So first and foremost, I took this straight from the internet, so I'm going to read it to you. Electro Dermal Screening is a safe, non-invasive procedure that can help you and your doctor identify the energy meridians and imbalances within your body. This information can help guide and inform the types of therapeutic approaches that can help heal your body. So it's designed to detect what isn't working so you know what to do to make it better. And this stops people from going down rabbit holes and buying supplement after supplement after supplement, testing after testing after testing, and months go by and you still have no clue what is wrong or what could help you feel better. So it's non-invasive. This, I think, is huge, especially for people who have fear of like drawing blood or don't like to do like more intensive, invasive kind of testing. It's non-invasive. It's safe. So there's no harm that can be done, right? And again, it's bio-individual. It's very specific. So some of the things the machine can test for, first of all, are food sensitivities. We can look to see if certain foods work for your body or not. We can also look to see if the gut microbiome is inflamed. Are you having a hard time digesting food? It might not be that you actually have an allergy to something, but it might make you irritated in your gut and make you uncomfortable, and it's preventing your gut from healing and sealing the lining. And we know that poor gut health leads to poor immune health, which leads to poor hormone health, which has a whole other host of issues alongside of it. So we can look at food intolerances, food sensitivities. We can look at your gut health. We can look at your hormone levels. We can see what hormones may not be functioning. And this can include some happy brain chemicals as well. Do you need some support when it comes to producing or making serotonin or dopamine? We can look at things like your energy meridians. The machine was actually designed to work with the 40 points of the acupuncture points, the energy meridians in Chinese medicine. And if you know anything about Chinese medicine or these energy meridians, is each energy meridian is tied to an organ system. So by testing the energy centers, the energy meridians, we can look at different organ systems in the body and see how they're functioning. Does your liver need some love? Is your spleen needing a little attention? How are your kidneys doing? We can look at different parts of the body and say, hey, it's off balance, it's needing some assistance, and let's work on it, right? So that's beautiful. We can look at chakras, which I did not know this about the machine, but we can look at your chakras. We can look at emotions. I think this is so huge. It can look to see if you're having racing thoughts or anxiety. It can look to see different emotional patterning. It can look at flower essences, certain remedies that can help with different emotional aspects that could be causing discomfort or unwellness. So I think that's fantastic. Of course, it can look at pathogenic activity, which is something I love knowing about myself. I want to know if I'm having candida. I want to know if my Epstein-Barr is flared. I want to know what kind of bacteria or what kind of viruses or what kind of pathogens are in my system, and I want to get rid of them, right? I want to help the immune system remove them from my body. So it can test all of the different pathogenic material, mold, fungus, on and on and on. So another cool thing that the machine can do is it can test products to see how they work with your body. So for instance, we had a gentleman come in and he brought his protein powder, and we were able to put it on the machine, and he held the bar, and we were able to test to see if the protein powder is compatible for his unique body. I've done this with certain supplements I've purchased before where I'm like, I bought this supplement. Do I need to take 1 capsule, 2 capsules, 3 capsules? The machine can even detect dosing. The other great thing about it is it can detect how a protocol works together. So instead of you just aimlessly taking this and that and this and that and just trying to figure it out on your own, we can look to see if everything you're needing to take works well together. And I think this is a fear of mine where I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this parasite cleanse, but should I still drink this tea? And can I still take this herb? And is this too much? The machine will tell you if it's all working together and if it actually works for your body. So many amazing things. So on that, the protocol, right? The protocol is also energy medicine. Like I mentioned earlier, homeopathy is energy medicine. So let's talk about it. And I'm going to bust out my little kit again. And you can see all these different remedies. I have ones that are liquid tinctures, and I have remedies that are like little sugar pellets. I'll hold them up again. And the fun thing about homeopathy, like I mentioned, it was actually created in the 1800s by a doctor named Samuel Hahnemann. And Samuel Hahnemann had this philosophy of like cures like. Have you ever heard that before? Like cures like. And his philosophy was that if something makes you unwell, the energy or the frequency of that within the body will stimulate the body to heal itself based on like heals like. So I know this sounds like woo-woo and crazy, but let me break it down this way. For example, there is a homeopathic remedy called apis, and apis is made from bees. So if you were to get stung by a bee, you would have a certain reaction, right? You get swollen, there'd be irritation, there'd be burning, there'd be stinging, there'd be a lot of, discomfort. Now, when you have those exact symptoms, burning, stinging, discomfort, irritation, inflammation, you could take the homeopathic remedy apis and it would stimulate the immune system to heal those exact symptoms that were caused by something similar to it. Now, apis as a homeopathic remedy is made from bee venom, but it is so minute. This is the fascinating thing with homeopathy. Let's say you use some sort of material matter. It is an onion, for example. They have ones made of onions. They have ones made from snakes. They have ones made from food. They have, every organic material has a remedy. And what they do is essentially dilute it over and over and over again. Sometimes 100 times it's diluted to the point where in homeopathy, if you were to take it to a lab and you were to ask the lab to detect that bee venom or to detect the onion in the remedy, they could not detect it because it's been diluted so many times that all that's left is the energetic imprint of that organic material matter. All you're holding on to is the energy or the frequency of that thing. And that energy and that frequency stimulates the brain and stimulates the body's energetic system to heal the like symptoms to what that thing would cause the imbalance in your body. I know it's like there's so much more to it. I could probably have an entire episode on homeopathy. And I know it sounds so woo woo. And what I love about it the most is I know it works because most people don't believe it would work and it works anyways. So we know it's not placebo. That's the best part about it. And this works on the fact, in my belief, especially as a holistic health coach, from the angle and the perspective and the lens that we are just energy. Everything is energy. Our bodies are energy, and everything that we do to, around, and with our bodies, if you break it down into energy, it's simple as that. Homeopathy is an energy frequency remedy. And what I love most about it on top of that is that it really can't do no harm. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. There's not really side effects with homeopathy. So I believe in it. I know it's been around. Samuel Hahnemann created this modality in the 1800s. It's been used since then. It is gaining popularity all around the world. It is a primary way of helping people feel better within the European Union, specifically in Germany. You could go to a pharmacy and get homeopathy, and it's a primary recommendation. It's talked about openly there, and I really hope that that can be the future for us here. So let's keep moving on. Another question I got is what services am I personally going to be offering? So I'm working for Dr. Dana's clinic, the location in West Chase. It's called Better Health and Wellness. And personally, I will be working under Dr. Dana, doing root cause screenings using the Electro Dermal machine. And I can take you in person, which I would love to do. And we can hook you up to the machine and have conversations and get feedback right then and there and figure out what protocol is going to work best for you. All the protocols are, designed by Dr. Dana. So you get the doctor's eyes on everything that we test and everything that we look up. So you get me and my intuition and my knowledge, and you get the machine, and you get all the, science behind it. And then you get Dr. Dana's protocol. So you get a win-win-win all around. If you cannot come in person, either you don't live in the state or you want to, come see me, but then you live far away, we can also do virtual telehealth appointments. So you wouldn't get screened on the machine. However, you can still get the protocol. We can figure out what's going on with you, what's some root cause. Maybe you've gotten some other, testing done and you kind of have an idea of what's going on with you and you just want to use this energy medicine and you want to try homeopathy, and maybe you are very sensitive and maybe you are very intuitive and you want to try something different. Then we can just do a telehealth appointment and Dr. Dana will help put together a protocol that has maybe homeopathy, maybe it has botanicals in it and uses more herbs, or maybe even nutraceuticals and something that is more nutrition based. And we'll make sure that you're feeling better. So telehealth is a perfect option. And the third option, which I think is fantastic, and I learned all about it in my training, is a mail-in sample. So if you live out of state, you can still get this testing and it's just as good as doing it in person. And what you do is you send in your DNA samples, you send in your hair sample, a urine sample, and a saliva sample, and we put it on the machine. So it's detecting your frequency, your energy, and we're doing the exact same tests as we would do in person. And of course, if there's anything specific you want us to look up, we can do that as well. And then, we write up the protocol, we recommend what would help you feel better and get to the root cause of it. And you can do this as many times as you need to for follow-ups, or eventually you can come in and do an in-person appointment. So your three options are in-person, virtual telehealth style with a protocol approved by the doctor, or you can do a mail-in sample. And again, all the protocols are approved by Dr. Dana. You get two different, opinions and eyes on you, and you get to feel better. You know exactly what step you need to take next. The thing I also need to mention is that this is a great supplement to your conventional treatments. So it's not this or that. There are many people that use this modality as a supportive tool to what they're already doing with their doctors. So some people use it as preventative, some people use it as an alternative, and some people use it as a complementary approach. There's no right or wrong way. It's you figuring out what works best for you. But I think that's important to mention as well. And lastly, I will still be offering my own private coaching sessions. So this is a great option if you're needing more assistance in things like your meal plans, your macros, your exercise, lifestyle things. You have some emotional things. You need more private one-on-one coaching outside of the office. I still can offer that. I'm still going to be doing that. I'm still doing my Wellness Wednesday workshops 2 Wednesdays out of the month. So you can get so much more education and value from me. And so that is still going to be an option. I'll just be at the clinic on Mondays and Fridays and the third Thursday of every month. So we can get you all situated in person. Or if you send in a mail-in sample, we'll get that done within 2 to 3 weeks and get you the protocol. So the sooner the better. And then another question I got is, how can it help me? And who is this good for? Who can use this modality? So let's break that down. One of the top niche clientele that I already see in my own practice, and I know Dr. Dana sees very frequently in her office, is women, and not just any female, but a high-performing, high-functioning female. A woman who is busy, juggling a lot of things, her hands are full, she is wanting to achieve, has big goals, and is just going, going, going. And her health has fallen to the wayside. And now she needs help supporting her body to get back on track so she can continue running for her goals. Businesswomen, women who are entrepreneurs, moms, especially after pregnancy when your body is depleted and you're needing some rejuvenation and you're needing to rebalance your hormones and you're needing to work on your gut health and you're needing support during that pivotal foundation of toddler years. It's a great time to be using this type of modality. So I definitely see a lot of women who are high stress, type A, high functioning, high performing. I see a lot of women who are dealing with, like I said, hormone issues at different seasons and phases of their life, like going through menopause, even young in puberty. We're having so many young women now having a lot of challenges during that puberty phase. So that is amazing. You can use it for children. Like I mentioned, we had a 5-year-old in the clinic the other day, which was just beautiful to see. You can test little ones. I tested my godchild, and she's 2 years old, through a mail-in sample. So that was such an honor and so beautiful. I'll be testing all of her siblings coming all the way from Wisconsin. So that was amazing. You can do it for young kiddos, especially when they're young. You give them this beautiful opportunity to clear out bugs and pathogens and things they're exposed to, when they're in daycare and in school systems. You can also look at emotions and things that they're dealing with that they can't express, behavioral issues, anxiety, gut health issues. I mean, what kid doesn't have food sensitivities nowadays? You can figure out, what's the best food to feed them, what they might not tolerate very well. And what a beautiful blessing, like I said earlier, what a beautiful blessing as a kid to have that and grow up in your pivotal foundational years with feeling your best. It's also absolutely amazing for people with chronic illness. That was me. I had autoimmune issues. I had other issues going on, and I could not get to the bottom of it. I got testing. I took scripts. I did all the things, but there were so many answers left open because it didn't take into account my own unique bio-individual body and what I was needing. So people with chronic illness, this is just a beautiful modality and a complement to probably a lot of the other things that you're doing. The screening is also specifically great, like I mentioned earlier, for people who hate needles, who are terrified of drawing blood, are terrified of invasive procedures. And not to say you shouldn't do them. I mean, there's definitely a place for some good blood work every year. I huge advocate of that, and I do that for myself. But in between, or maybe for more extensive things, you could start with some screening to see what is necessary and what maybe you should get other testing for. So I see that a lot. Root cause, people wanting to get deep down into the nitty gritty. Maybe what they've done has helped them, but they just don't feel 100% vibrant. They don't feel like they have the vitality that they desire, and they want to anti-age and they want to go above and beyond. This machine can really help you do that as well, along with the protocols. And men, I think men are under a lot of stress. I think they have a hard time even communicating how they're feeling. So oftentimes, and I've seen this even with my own partners, going to the doctor, and they have a hard time communicating to the doctor what's wrong. They'll play it down right in front of a doctor. They're like, oh, yeah, actually, it's not that bad, or it only happens once in a while. But at home, you're hearing them complain all the time. Or just as their partner, you can tell that something is wrong. This machine, they don't have to say a peep. They don't have to say a word. They don't have to communicate. All they have to do is sit there, and the machine will tell us. So it's great for men who don't like to talk about their health or communicate about their emotions. We can get to the bottom of it. So it's absolutely fantastic for that as well. So there's a lot of people it can help with. Again, even if you feel great, it's great as prevention. It's great to kind of know what else you could be doing to support your body. It can help, figure out, what works best for you. And if you feel great and you're like, I just want to come in and test my supplements and see, are these good for me? Are they working for me? We could do that too. I'm here to support you in any way that you need. I'm so, again, grateful to be able to offer this and to assist the clinic and just spread more root cause awareness and health to so many more people. So the last question I got then is, how can I book an appointment? Okay, so everything's going to be booked through the clinic. When I get the booking link, it'll go active in August. I'll put it in the description box below. I will be in the office Mondays and Fridays and every third Thursday of the month. So hopefully we can get you in on one of those days. And the appointments, for example, the first time you come and see me, we'll do a full, thorough check. It'll be about an hour appointment, checking what is the root cause, what is going on. We'll have some conversations. We'll see maybe where you need some support. And then we'll test you on the machine for the remedies and the protocols that work best for you. I will then get them all approved by Dr. Dana, go over everything with her. You'll get her eyes on you. And then we will tell you exactly how to move forward. You'll get answers very quickly, which I absolutely love. And then your follow-up appointments are about 30 minutes, and we go in and we check to see what is improved, how has the protocol worked for you. We'll look to see if anything else is coming up. We'll look to the next step and the next stage. You can't just detox everything right away. You can't just fix everything in 4 weeks, right? It took you a while to get here. So we'll work together in layers, figuring out the right steps that is the proper way for you to get back to complete health and wellness. And that's kind of what it looks like. If you have any other questions, I know it's hard to really explain if you've never actually experienced it or seen the machine or know much about homeopathy, but now maybe I've given you some words or key phrases that you could start looking up. If you have any more specific questions, I would love to hear them, love to answer them for you. How about we do this on Holistic Soul Sisters, the Instagram page? You guys know I treat that like our community bulletin board. So anytime there's new podcast episodes, there's events or workshops, we're having a sale on coaching, anything that's new within our community, I'm posting it on IG. And I will post this podcast episode. And in the comments section, you could go ahead and ask any questions that you might have. And then I will make an Instagram reel or a story about it, and I'll tag you. So that way you know the answer, and anyone else that has a similar question will also get their question answered. And then we'll save it in a story highlight. So I look forward to hopefully bringing you better health and wellness. Looking forward to seeing what the machine is telling us about your unique body and your unique system and how we can support it best. I, again, am just over the moon and full of gratitude for this opportunity. It's just another tool in my tool belt. A lot of people were kind of asking, well, what does this mean for your astrology? And what does this mean for all the other things that you do? So I'm just going to end this episode with saying that I've been praying to God for the last year on bringing me something that allows me to shift out of the spa and the beauty industry into more of my passion. And back in 2022, I had just moved to Apollo Beach area, and I had moved my entire spa business from Clearwater over across the bay to Hillsborough County. And I had a lot of options open for me. I was doing cacao ceremonies and sound baths and doing the astrology and working at the spa and a couple other things. And I just said to God, I'm going to wait an entire year. And I want you to make it very clear to me what path I'm supposed to go down. And the end of 2022 came and there wasn't a clear path. And then all last year, I just prayed and prayed and prayed and said, you know, I think I'm ready to be done with the spa. But it's something I've done for almost 15 years. I have amazing clients. I love doing it. I love beauty. I love spray tans. I love waxing. I love it all. But I just knew there was something bigger and better out there for me, a way I could help women feel better. And so then, like I mentioned back in April, I was not doing too good with my health. You guys saw the couple podcast episodes ago when I was doing the 75 high vibe journey. I talk about my own health and what was going on. And I went to see Dr. Dana. And she offered me this position way back in April. I've been holding it in ever since, wanting to do my certification and make sure I knew exactly what this is going to look like before I announced it. And now here we are, moving into the month of August, and I will be taking you in the clinic by the second week of August. And I just look forward to seeing how this grows and it journeys. I'll be weaning out of the spa, kind of moving out of that entire industry within the next couple months. It's just a huge shift in my life. And I just feel like I'm ready to level up and help people in a bigger way. And I hope my holistic soul sister, you are one of those people. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me, being a part of our community. This is going to allow me a lot more space to show up for our Holistic Soul Sister community by hosting events, offering Wellness Wednesday workshops, bringing you more education, more podcast episodes. I'm going to start doing vlogs on my clinic days, obviously not with patients, but I will vlog me going to the clinic, what it looks like, what I have going on each day, things that I learn. It's going to be so fun. So I hope you follow along and subscribe. If you are new to me or new to the community, welcome in, Holistic Soul Sister. We are just a tribe of women healing holistically, growing spiritually, trying to live this high vibrational lifestyle with the philosophy that everything is energy. And once we understand it, we can control it and manipulate it in our favor and live the best life. So thank you for being here again. Love you all so much. I'm going to send you so much love and light until I come back for another episode. And until then, I'll catch you over on TikTok or Instagram. Pop into my DMs. Let's chit chat. And until then, keep healing holistically and growing spiritually.